if you keep losing, that's a good thing. And I know your brain doesn't want to accept that losing does not feel good. We all know what losing is feel like. At least one time in your life, you have lost. And I know it sucks. It feels like shit. And the reason it feels like shit is because your brain is literally wired to hate losing. Because, like, when you actually think about your brain system, which hasn't evolved, back in like the caveman eras when we used to hunt for food, what did losing mean? Well, losing meant you died, which is why we are so scared to lose. Now, we are not really at fear of death when we lose. You failing a test, you're not gonna die, but it sure as hell feels like you are, and that is the problem. But the truth is that losing is actually the best thing that can happen to you right now, because you are not very skilled. If you were skilled, you would be winning already. But the truth is, the only way to learn is by losing. You've never learned anything from winning. When you get 98% on a test, you don't learn anything from it. You don't sit there and analyze the last 2% you lost. No, you just celebrate the fact that you got 98%. Whereas if you got 75%, well, hell, you'd be sitting there analyzing every single mark you lost, thinking about which parts you lost the marks in and why you actually failed. Failure is a good thing, and yet we are so scared of it. So this is like my message to you: fail some more, mess up some more. When I first started playing the guitar, I sounded like shit. Honestly, I was watching the YouTube video. They'd be like, oh yeah, just string your E minor chord, and I'd do it. And I swear to God, it would just sound like some demon had been summoned. It sounded horrific. But now I can play most chords on the guitar well. And that's because I was okay with being shit at the start. It's because I was okay with failing again and again and again. And guess what? Now I am half decent at playing the guitar. I'm still not an expert or anything. I still make mistakes all the time, and I can't play any song I dream of. But I'm getting a lot better. And that's kind of what happens when you learn something. And that's the reason so many people nowadays quit too quickly. The truth is, you will quit or you will win. Those are the only two things that can happen. Both require losing, though. Some people give up after one or two losses. If you just keep pushing through, if you just accept that the losses are going to happen, but your dream goal is at the end of it, you will succeed no matter what. And that's what I want you to aim for. And there's no set amount of losses you can take. The truth is, someone could have learned something way quicker than you. It might take you an extra 10 hours to learn something, but that's okay. Like, you don't need to sit there and go, you're worse than them. You are worse than them at this one thing, but you're probably better than them at something else, right? I like to think about life like it's a marathon and not a sprint, because if it was a sprint, most people would lose. We'd all lose to the fastest people, but we don't. The world is actually a marathon. If you actually look at the people who are the most successful, sure, you have your athletes and actors or whatever who are just naturally gifted, right? But you also have a bunch of random people, some random 16-year-olds in Dubai, some random old dude who just got good at like investing or something. Anyone can be successful, and obviously that's not the only form of success, right? Success can be having a great family or friend group around you. Success is whatever you define it as, but you also need to accept that all of those people, regardless of who they are, whether it was an athlete or an actor or just a random dude on the street who's a millionaire, all of them had to suffer. All of them had to fail. And if you ask every single one of them, they might be humble and say, oh no, I didn't really try too hard, whatever, blah, blah. I promise you, every single one of them went through something. I like to think about the whole Usain Bolt analogy, right? Usain Bolt finished first in a race. Someone else finished second place in the race. Now, the difference between them would have been maybe a second. I don't even know, maybe milliseconds, right? But I promise you, between those milliseconds, it was years and hours and days of effort that Usain Bolt put in, more than the other guy. It would have been like one cheeseburger that the other dude had when he was like 16 years old. That's the difference. And winning isn't easy, but I want you to try your best and win. Failure is okay. Just win. Thank you boys for watching. If you've enjoyed, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all the shit that YouTubers always say. There's going to be 2 videos on either side of the screen. I appreciate you watching till the end. As always, I believe in you. Also, link in the description if you want to hop on a call with me. Peace.